Have a good day. I am Dr. M. VIJAYA SHANTHI, Assistant Professor of History, Fatima College, Madurai. Now we are going to see about the topic Madurai under British rule. British East India Company captured all over the world. The sun never sets. That the slogan was so familiar during the 18th century. And India was not except that. And the Tamil country was also came under their control at the later part of 17th century, and Madurai came under British East India Company's control from the year 1759. How it was came under the control of British East India Company? First we see, after the rule of the great Madurai Nayaks, the Madurai came under the control of Nawab of Arcot. So the Nawab's rule was started in Madurai, and Nawab Anwar sent Mahfuz Khan, and the Pahaligars were opposed to him, and they want to get help from British East India Company. So the British commanders sent Khan Sahib, by the other name known as Yusuf Khan and Marudanayagam, was sent to Madurai to suppress the revolt of Mahfuz Khan. So obviously he suppressed Mahfuz Khan, and he himself, the Khan Sahib, became the governor of Madurai in 1759. He undertook lot of reforms in Madurai, but it was not liked by British because they want to what they want to do in Madurai. But he was not at all accept, and he do good reforms in Madurai. So the British forces defeated him, and he was hanged, and his head was cut off by Colonel Campbell, and in open streets it was to be thrown out. So Madurai came under the control of British from the year 1759. And then English East India Company formally established the Madurai district, and they have appointed the collector for Madurai. His name was MacLeod. He was the first collector of Madurai, and he started his administration from September 6, 1790. And British East India Company appointed governors and collectors to collect the taxes and maintenance fees and orders to Madurai province separately. And later part, after the Great Revolt of 1857, the rule of British East India Company was transferred to British Parliament, and the municipal government was introduced in 1866, and they established Jilla courts to maintain the judicial administration. And that was the situation was started. So the collectors collected the tax, and they maintained law and order, and the judicial reforms was undertaken, and administrative efforts were to be taken in the Madurai province. And what was the situation was prevailed during the British rule in Madurai? We have to see, first we see the social condition. First, caste system was so deep rooted, and there was a political restlessness in society. The Europeanization was to be followed in all elements of the society. Brahmins, Vellalas, Nayaks, Yatavas, Kaikolas, Vishwakarma and Chettias, Kallas and some slaves also lived in the society. And the previous Valangai Idangai system also prevailed, and Muslims also increased in their numbers. Converted Christians and missionaries also existed in the society. Untouchability was also followed in a strict manner, and the society started to think about the superstitious beliefs and social evils, because British provided the good education to the girls as well as the boys. So they think about the social evils, and they started to change the society. And the administrators and the foreign people led a luxurious life in Madurai city. And what's their food? The high class people mostly take vegetarian food. milk products, and ordinary people take non-vegetarian food and liquor also. And their traditional dress was followed, and silk was used by the higher caste people, and they imitated the foreigners' dress codes, especially the suit and the pants and the caps were used to imitating how the British people, the Portuguese, the Dutch they have adopted or imitated the foreigners' dress codes. And the lower class women were not allowed to wear jackets in sarees, and both men and women were different kind of ornaments. And we have to see the houses. Britishers constructed airy and veranda bungalows, and the buildings were simple in style, not so ornamental, and huge stands were used for the purpose of construction. And poor people lived in torches. An educational system, traditional system of education was vanished, and the spread of new Europeanization education system was to be started, and the radical changes were undertaken. European model schools were introduced, and some community people like Chettis, Nadas, they also established the schools for the purpose of poor people and their community people. And the religious condition, minority Brahmins got high priority in the society in all the ways. Accountants, because they were the translators of British East India Company rulers, and so the collectors always accompanied with the most probably the Brahmanical accountants. And the village people worshipped mother goddesses, village goddesses and furious gods like Ayyanar, Muni, and then the ghosts also they worshipped. Mariamman worship and Muttaraman worship flourished in villages, and they also worshipped ancestors. Animal sacrifices and the brutal dance was also followed by the people of Madurai. And the temple entry agitations were held, especially in Madurai Meenakshi Amman temple. They started to agitation to enter into the temple, but it was not successful. At the end of the British rule, they got success. And the Muslims followed the separate principles for them. They have their own educational institutions, madrasas, and in that they taught Arabic and Tamil languages, and they worshipped in dargahs and mosques and observed special festivals of Islam. And the converted Christians and missionaries started to construct the churches, and they also spread the gospel of Christianity. Among them, some Jesuit missionaries came to Madurai and they spread the gospel, especially Robert D. Nobili, John D. Brito. They all came here. The Jesuit missionaries came and stayed at Madurai, and they established schools. And Robert D. Nobili, known as Roman Brahmin, and he himself looked like a Hindu saint, and he made a lot of conversions in Madurai country. Next, the British introduced the new transport and communication systems. Railway routes were started from Madurai to the nook and corner of Tamil country, and especially the first was the road to the railway line to Bodinayakanur, and between Madurai and Bodinayakanur was started for the purpose of cardamom business. And postal were also introduced. When we come to know about the literature, the scientific outlook was given to the Tamil language. Various types of poems, prose and story writing were developed. Patriotic songs were also sung, and dramas were also developed there. And come to know about the economic condition, the government tried to strengthen the agricultural sector. The intensive agricultural district program and multiple cropping, dry farming were also introduced by them. And famines were occurred frequently. Lots of people were died due to starvation. The government takes such steps, but that was not satisfied to the people. And they also introduced Raitwari land revenue system in Madurai. Especially the industries got importance under the colonial rule. And the art and culture during that period, traditional dance and music was developed in Madurai. Bharatanatyam and Carnatic music have grown. And canvas painting was popular during that period. Victoria Edward Hall, the drama theatre was built now it is in the Periyar, near Periyar bus stand. In 1840, the collector Blackbone demolished fortifications and filled up a ditch. When we come to know the art and culture of Madurai, traditional dance and music developed, Bharatanatyam and Carnatic music have grown, and canvas painting was so popular during the period. In 1840, Collector Blackburn demolished fortifications and filled up the ditch of the old fort and opened broad roads that was known as valley streets, and the city was extended in a new form. So the people fondly erected the memorial for the lovable collector Blackbone Lane, now it is called as Vilakuttum. In 1904, Albert Victor Bridge was built and St. Mary's Church was also built in European model, and the present collector office building and Meenakshi College building were the finest examples of British rule. And we have to see the Albert Victor Bridge. Madurai Albert Victor Bridge was first elevated bridge in Madurai, named after the Prince Albert Victor and the grandson of monarch Queen Victoria. It was commissioned 1889 and finished 18, and the foundation stone was laid in 1886. It joined the northern and southern parts of Madurai, that the two sides of the river. And this is a picture of Albert Victor Bridge in Madurai. And this is St. Mary's Cathedral, it also known as Church of Our Lady Dollars, one of the most popular church in Madurai and also in Tamil Nadu. It is a grandeur and the paradise of architects and engineers. It was a mix of European, Roman and continental architectural styles. And this was Atkins Hospital. At present, it was known as Government Rajaji Hospital in Madurai. It was built in 1842 and it was undertaken by the government of Tamil Nadu in 1918. And the American College building was the first building was constructed inside the campus, Indo-Saracenic style by Henry Irving. This was dedicated on 24th February 1909. And this was a colonial architectural building that now itself it is known as the Collectorate Office, and it was a typical Victorian era architectural style. So the British gave lot of changes in Madurai. During the British rule, considerable changes were brought in all the fields: administration, judiciary, revenue, industry, agricultural, communication and literature. Madurai was transformed from the ancient culture of Tamil towards the modern culture during the colonial period. Thank you.